And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up here on the ranking module, and it's going to transfer the information from the warehouse to the ranking module. And I'll just make this full screen, and what we have here is a relative comparison of the strength of these stocks over selected time periods. Now it just happens to be set on Ian's slow. Ian came up with this calculation many years ago, and the long-term strength of these stocks is according to descending order on the last column. So over that time period, and this is about based upon about 6 months, or it is based upon 6 months, with 70% of the emphasis on the last 3 months. I'll just use alternate 2 to quickly move, get rid of the crosshair, and if we look back, you can see this is 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then 1, 2, 3. Make this a little bit larger and get all 6 months in here. So this ranking, based upon Ian's slow, is based upon this time period. So if I put a frame on here and go from 1, 2, 3, 70% of the weighting of the ranking module based upon Ian's slow is right here during this 3-month period. And then the other 30% will be based upon this 3-month period. So it is weighted more towards recent activity, as you can see, and this is a very strong performer. Now let's compare that to MasterCard, and you can see that over this time period, yes, it's going up now, and the weighting is the 70% is on these 3 months here, but it's kind of been all over the place. It certainly hasn't been a smooth transition. And over that time period, should have had that a little further to the left, over that time period, it has clearly underperformed CC and the other stocks at the top of the list. One more, you can see that over this 6-month period, this is a very inexpensive stock back here. It has performed well. Now, one thing I didn't show you in the charting module, and let me do that, is you have several options here. You can play with these other charts, see what you like. And here just happens to be a white background with some long-term moving averages. This stock is in a fan formation. The 200-day exponential moving average is here, the 100, the 50, and the 18. That is a fan. Let's go back to the first one. CC, you can see that it's been in a long-term uptrend for quite some time. Experiment with the charts. There are many charts in here that I and other people have provided for you. Now, getting back to this ranking module, you have all of these options. You can use Ian slow, Ian fast. That breaks it into 3 segments rather than 2. I never use that. Wild or relative strength, comparing it to wild or the percent change over a certain number of weeks. So let's leave it on 3 and say OK, and then rather than relative strength, use raw relative strength, and then this number in this column represents a percentage gain over those 3 weeks. You don't have to use it just on a long term. You can put any time period in here that you want to. Now let's go back in here, and I'm going to select this. This time I'm going to compare it to the Standard & Poor over the last 3 weeks rather than a percentage gain. And this time the numbers change to 1 plus a decimal. So this indicates that ARCO has outperformed the S&P by 128.02% over the 3-week time period. Very flexible tool. What has underperformed over that time frame is Legacy Texas Financial Corporation. It has slightly underperformed over the last 3 weeks, and you can see that when you bring a chart up. When I bring this chart up and look at the last 3 weeks, you can see that it's clearly outperforming. One more thing you should know about the ranking module is you can tile this with the warehouse. So you just go down to the bottom and you select that, and you have your warehouse on the bottom and the ranking module on the top. And this way I can look at the combo. You can see that court was on top yesterday. I can click on that and then click to the ranking module, and it tells me how court has performed compared to the S&P over the last 3 weeks, and it's down at number 43. So it has not really fared that well. Now let's go to NVIDIA. I'll click on it and go to the ranking module. It's number 16. It's outperformed the S&P by 10.3%. It has also gained 10% over that time period. And if I go to relative strength and click this back on E and slow, you can see that it was doing very well. It was green in here, and then it turned to yellow as it pulled back. So it is responsive towards the rear portion, or I'm sorry, the right portion of the screen. Now these are all indicators that will be explained when I get into Ron Brown investing. That's it for this video. Just a quick introduction to what's in this great and powerful program. This program, HGSI, does things that no other software programs can do. You just have to learn how to use these features. Thank you for listening.